What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at AJ Epenesa, defensive end, I guess, out of Iowa. The reason why I said I guess is because he can play defensive end for you, but I'd kind of like to see him gain a little bit of weight and play some 3-tech, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Going to look at him on the NFL website. That way we can see his combine numbers and the size he weighed in at the combine. So he's 275, which is actually lighter than what ESPN has him at. 504 in the 40, 17 bench press, yeah, whatever. But his stats, just getting into that before we get into the film, he had 11.5 sacks this past year and then 10.5 sacks in 2018, so that's pretty good, and 4 forced fumbles in both years. This dude is a playmaker. He does get some strip sacks on you too. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this guy. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into the film. Yeah, I've got timestamps next to me. We're gonna be watching his game against Iowa State and his game against Minnesota. So, yeah. And both of them are originally from the channel Hash. So, go show them love. The links to both videos will be in the description of mine. So, yeah. So, right off the bat, one of the things you kind of see from him, you see him kind of smack the tackle's left hand down, so he's kind of gaining control, and he's got his left hand inside, and he's also getting his arms up to try to bat that ball down. That's something he does consistently. If he can't get there, he will get his hands up to try to bat the ball down. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but it does help, and not every player does that. So good on him for that. Next timestamp. Right here. By the way, he's number 94. I forgot to say that, but that just shows his tenacity in his fight, basically. He's not like super athletic. His ball get off is fine, but it's not fantastic because he's not like speed guy. He's a power rusher primarily. But he is really good with his hands. Again, he swipes that left hand. And he's getting his left hand inside and just fighting. He doesn't get the sack, but just showing a little bit of his tenacity. He's a pretty mean player. So, sorry for the noise in the background. There's a garbage truck driving past me. Good hand fight. Yeah, let's go to the next timestamp. Fantastic. He doesn't get the sack there, but if you just look at how he got past this guy, his hands. I'm actually going to slow it down here. See, right where he's making that contact, he's swiping that left hand down, and that allows him to get the edge. Now, unfortunately, he kind of trips up a little bit with the running back, and that lets the tackle kind of finish him there, so he doesn't get the sack. But as far as him actually winning the battle, yeah, he smoked that dude. And that just shows he's not just powerful. His hands are also really, really good. I actually think that that's his best feature, in my opinion. Next timestamp is 2:25. Didn't really work this time. That the running back's kind of chipping him. But he's just going to keep fighting. Again, this just shows his tenacity and his motor. And he's able to help get the quarterback down. I mean, he was going to go down regardless, but just showing that he does have that motor, because that's something that some other people in this draft class, I've criticized them for. So I had to show that he is quite good at that. He's got a very good motor. Next one is 550. There we go. Yeah, he's already coming off the edge. Like I said, decent ball get up and nothing crazy. Again, swiping that outside hand, and he doesn't end up getting the sack. He needs to finish there, but his 11.5 sacks says that he doesn't need to work on finishing too much. But basically, I'm just showing him winning these engagements, basically. There's one more I want to show from this game, and then I've got a few I want to show from the Minnesota one. Same thing. Swiping that outside hand, he's coming for the quarterback. He doesn't get the sack, but he does kind of pressure him. And sometimes that can be even more valuable, and this ends up being an overthrow because he pressured him. So, good play. Very good play by A.J. Epenesa. Let's go ahead and get into the Minnesota film. I've only got 3 plays I want to show here, because this just highlights some of his other abilities that he really didn't get a chance to show off against Iowa State, so I just wanted to highlight them. In Iowa State, he pretty much highlighted his hands mostly and winning that way, but this one he highlights his length and his power. So let me slow it down here too. Yeah, he was getting the better of him. I want to let that go full speed. Just so you can see what he does, this guy just shows off his power. Just almost takes him off the ground. And that was with one arm, if you've seen. That also shows off his length and his ability to use his length. He uses one hand and extends him and pretty much bench presses this dude. If the guard didn't come over to help him, he would have been on his back in about another second. But that just shows off his power a little bit. Let me... 226 right up here. Very good play there as well. What I see here, I'm going to slow it down again. A couple things. First off, he gets his hands inside. You can clearly see that. And if you followed my channel, that's something I'm a big fan of. He does that pretty consistently. He gets his hands inside so he can control the offensive lineman. And he's able to push him back. And as you can see, he's winning this now just off his length. And he's keeping his eyes on the running back. And because he's got his hands inside and because he has superior length, he's pretty much got control right now. So when the running back starts to come toward him, he's able to quickly disengage and tackle the running back. And he is very efficient toward the run. That's why I didn't really highlight it too much, because I feel like most of you guys probably know that. That's probably his biggest strength, is playing against the run. So, yeah, if you're a team that needs that right now, keep that in mind. 410, 409, that works. And this is the last play I'm going to show. Then I'm going to get into my overall thoughts. Once again, just kind of shows off his power. He's really pushing this guy back until the guard came up to help him. And he still ends up getting free because of his hands. like I said, that play right there shows off his power, his hands, and his tenacity, his motor, everything. So that's a really good play for him. That's about it as far as film goes. But my overall thoughts, like I said, he is fantastic against the run. He's got some really good power. He is a power rusher. His hands are really fantastic. He bats passes pretty consistently. Fantastic motor. Even when he gets beat, he still keeps going through his blocks. He's not super athletic, not super fast or anything like that. But like I said, he's a power guy. Pretty long arms. As far as his position goes, regardless of what team he goes to, I want his hand in the dirt. I think that's pretty clear. I don't want anyone trying to put him out at linebacker in like a 3-4 scheme, nothing like that. If you're in a 3-4 scheme, I still want him playing defensive end. Let him two-gap because he's got the hands for it and he's got the eyes for it. So he'd be pretty good as a 3-4 defensive end. And he can play in a 4-3 scheme. He can play edge for you, but I think his best position would be 3-tech. Just line him up in B-gap and just let him blow plays up. I think that would be the best bet for AJ Epenesa. Maybe rotate him out at edge. That way you can get some kind of clever packages in there. But I'd really like to see him play 3-tech. But anyway, also in a 3-4 scheme or even in a 4-3, don't put him at 1 or 0. Don't put him at nose. Just don't do that. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.